Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing a Traptrix deck profile. So I'm super excited with this one because we just got some new support for this deck, being Traptrix Jalecia, which I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's a really good card that really helps out this deck to be able to get you a +1, which is really nice to be able to play in this deck, because this deck is a super control-based deck that is basically made around the old school trap hole card that came out in LOB, the original set, which is really cool. But without further ado, let's get straight on this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely like, comment, subscribe, and definitely check out in the description, guys, we have a Patreon and a Ko-Fi if you guys would like to donate to the channel. We have some really cool rewards for you guys that if you want to check it out. So let's get into this, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing two of the new Traptrix monsters. So basically what she does is if she's unaffected by the effect of whole trap cards, and then you contribute this card and then set two normal trap hole cards from your deck to your side of the field, but they just have to include hole in their name. So it could be bottomless trap hole, floodgate trap hole, time space trap hole, just two trap holes with different names, and then one from your deck and one from your graveyard, but banish them when they leave the field. So this can let you reuse one from your deck that you've already, or reuse one from your graveyard that you've already used, and then put one on the field from your deck, so it searches one, so it's basically like a +1, which is really cool. Then we play 3 copies of Marmelio. Marmelio really is a good card. It's a good first turn card because basically what she does is she's also unaffected. All of your Traptrix monsters are unaffected by the effects of trap hole cards, which is really cool, or normal hole trap cards. And then when she's normal summon, you get to add a whole trap, normal trap from your deck to your hand. And if she's special summon, you get to target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. She's always a card that I want to open up with because you get so many different pluses off her. Then we play 3 copies of Traptrix Mantis. Mantis is cool too because when she is normal summoned, you get to add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. And it's unaffected by the effect of trap hole cards. And then once per turn, quick effect, you can target a set spell or trap you control and return it to your hand, and then you can set a spell or trap from your hand. So if your opponent does, in fact, target one of your trap hole cards, you can instantly just say, hey, no, bounce it to your hand. It doesn't have a legal target anymore, so the card, whatever they used, fizzles, and then you reset it back. So it lets you protect your trap hole cards, which is really helpful. Then we play 3 copies of Diana, or Dione, I don't know, Downey, I think is how you say it. Basically what this card does is she's unaffected by the effect of trap or whole trap cards, and then when this card is normal summon, you can target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon her back to your side of the field in defense position, and when this card is special summoned, you can target one normal whole trap card in your graveyard and set it to your side of the field, but banish it when you do. This card is really good as a 3-of because you're going to want to put her on field later in the game, but you do want to play her as a 3-of because if you summon her to your side of the field, then you just get to revive one of your other Traptrix monsters and trigger their effects, which is really neat. So that's it for the Traptrix monsters. For the other cards we're playing in here, I am playing a Artifact Engine, so I'm playing 2 copies of Artifact Scythe. The Artifact Scythes come in super handy because basically if they're destroyed on your opponent's turn, which we have ways to do that in this deck, or if they're special summoned during your opponent's turn by being destroyed, or special summon at all during your opponent's turn, then your opponent can't special summon from the extra deck at all. And then we play a single copy of Moral Tack as well. The Moral Tack comes in handy because basically what Moral Tack does is if it is destroyed or special summoned during your opponent's turn, then you get to target a face-up card on your opponent's controls and destroy it, which is really cool. And then we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom for our last 3 monsters. Now the Ash Blossoms help out because you can discard them to the graveyard to be able to stop your opponent from all sorts of shenanigans, which is usually what we do with it. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're only going to be playing 4 in the entire deck, and then it's 3 copies of Call by the Grave. You only need the 3 copies of Call by the Grave and 1 copy of Double or Nothing. The Double or Nothing comes in really handy because basically what this card does is when your opponent attacks, you can just instantly, or when you make like a copy of Utopia Double, you can attack them for 10,000, which is really cool to be able to just OTK them in a deck that basically does trap holes. So it's basically our big sword of the deck that you're going to want to play. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps because we play a lot of traps and we got a lot of them to go through. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Time Space Trap Hole. So Time Space Trap Hole is a really neat card that when your opponent special summons a monster from their hand or extra deck, you can shuffle those cards into the deck and then they lose 1,000 life points for each return monster, which is really cool. 2 copies of Floodgate Trap Hole. If they special summon a monster to their side of the field, it's changed to face down defense position, and they cannot change that battle position of the monsters that they special summon. Now, this card was really cool when pendulums were a thing, because if they pendulum summon for 5, you could flip this, and it was like, hey, all 5 go face down. And they're like, Pikachu face. Then we play 3 copies of Bottomless Trap Hole. The reason I like 3 Bottomless Trap Hole is because I think it's actually one of the best trap holes in the entire game. Still, that when your opponent would summon a monster with 1500 or more attack, you destroy that monster and with 1500 or more attack, and if you banish it instead of sending it to the graveyard, which is still a stupid good effect. I only play these trap holes because I feel like these 7 are searchable and you're always going to be activating. I mean, once you stop 7 summons, it's pretty much over. Then, for the other cards that we're playing in the deck, we're playing 1 copy of Imperial Order. The Imperial Order just stops spells. We're not really that concerned about spells in our deck. We just play Call by the Grave and Double or Nothing. If we wanted to OTK our opponent, we just stop paying the 700 every turn, and it fizzles and goes to the graveyard. 2 copies of Traptrix, because it wouldn't be a Traptrix deck without Traptrix. You just need 2 copies of it, because you have plenty of the other trap cards in your deck to be able to search off of this card. And so 2 copies is just right. I don't want to break with this card, and it just got reprinted, so Traptrix, hooray, just became very budget. Then we play 3 copies of the Phantom Knights of Shade of Brigadine. Brigadine is really good because it special summons itself as a level 4 monster, which we can use as material for Link summons or XYZ summons if you control no trap cards in your graveyard. So basically you want to open up this card as quickly as possible. But even if you don't, you can activate this card from your hand if you have no traps in your graveyard. But if you do have traps in your graveyard, you just set it and then activate it the following turn and go from there. It is a slow grind-based deck that you're playing, so you got to keep that in mind. Then we play 3 copies of Artifact Sanctum. The Artifact Sanctums are really good in here because basically what they do is they special summon an artifact monster from your deck, and you can activate this card during your opponent's turn during their standby phase, summon the Scythe to your side of the field as a 2200 beat stick, and then guess what? They can't even summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, which really sucks. And then you're just going to like Bottomless Trap Hole whatever they summon, or Floodgate, or use Traptrix, or use the Time Space to just shuffle it back in their hand. Then we play 3 copies of Compulse, because if we don't Trap Hole them, we're going to Compulsory Evacuation Device them back to their hand, which is really funny, because it's just like, hey, I'm going to balance that monster you spent 4 materials on to summon. That's cute. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So this deck is so fun to play. Like, it's just really fun. Like, it's really fun to just set up and then look at your opponent like, hey, yeah, I'm going to compulse that. So then for the extra deck, we're playing 3 copies of Traptrix Sira. Sira is really cool, or Sira is really good because you just link summon it by using 1 Traptrix monster, and this Traptrix monster is unaffected by trap effects, and then you can only use her effect once per turn. But if a normal trap is activated, you can special summon a Traptrix monster from your deck with a different name from the ones you already control, and then if your other Traptrix monster effect is activated, you can set a normal trap hole directly from your deck. This card is a card you always go into. That's why I like adding from deck to hand, or opening up Marmelio, because I'm going to add that trap hole from my deck to the hand, and then immediately link summon for Sira, and then pass with like 5 set, which is really fun to do. And you just make her as quickly as possible, and she's probably one of the best cards in the entire extra deck, because she does get you that Traptrix from your deck to your hand, or from your deck to your field, to just instantly help you swarm the field. And then if your Traptrix monster effect activates, then you get to use the other effect. Which is really cool as well. We play a single copy of Artifact Dagda. Dagda is really good, and I actually didn't pull one of these in my dual overload case, so that's why I've been waiting on this deck profile, is because I had to order one. Even though it's like a $2 card, I didn't pull it, which was kind of weird to me. But what you do with this card is when the effect of another monster on the field activates, you can set an artifact directly from your deck to your hand, or deck to your spell and trap card zone. It's a spell card, but destroy it during your opponent's next end phase. And during your opponent's turn, if this link summon card is destroyed, you can special summon a artifact monster from your deck in defense position. Now, I usually don't make this card all that much. I usually make Sira, but this card does come in handy to get me Scythe from my deck to my side of the field set if I don't have it, or I don't draw Sanctum or Traptrix to get it on my field. But it's kind of something that's an oddity for me to summon in this deck, but it helps. Then I play Unicorn just to bounce stuff. I play a single copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps. Boral Sword, which surprisingly comes out quite often in this deck because it helps you OTK a lot. And then 2 copies of Traptrix Rafflesia. Rafflesia is something that you make under the Sierra if you want to make it and you want to just be able to access any of your 3 different trap holes in your deck at once. Basically, it's unaffected by trap effects, and then when this card has XYZ materials that were Traptrix monsters, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and your opponent cannot target the Traptrix monsters you control except this card with card effects. And then once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card and then send a whole trap card from your that meets its activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. And this card's effect becomes that trap's effect. So, like, if your opponent normal summons a monster that has, like, 2,000 attack or 1,900, then you just detach material off Rafflesia, send from your deck to the graveyard a copy of Bottomless Trap Hole, and then destroy and banish that monster, which is cool, to be able to just hit it right off the bat. 1 copy of Baguska, because the Baguska helps us out with stalling out if we need to. Silent Honor Arc, because you can take your opponent's monsters. If they do get to special summon, you just take them. 1 copy of Exciton Knight to blow board. It's rare that I actually blow board because usually I have a bunch of set back row. Daigusto Emerald, because I can shuffle a bunch of my cards back into the deck and then draw, like Sierra or Utopia Double if they negated or something. And then I play a single copy of Utopia Double and a single copy of Utopia, because basically what these guys do is they let me add my Double or Nothing from deck to hand and then swing at you for 10,000, which helps me win the game. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. Basically what you usually end on, and I'm not even kidding, is a copy of Sarah up here, and then you end with like 5 set cards. Like, you wouldn't want to end with these, but you'll end with, like, seriously, like 5 set, which is really funny because basically you're going to stop everything that they're going to be doing, which is really hilarious. And then your Sierra triggers and then adds you more stuff, which is just really funny to do. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this deck. It's a super fun deck to play around with. I highly recommend you guys give this deck a shot. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad. Definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below so you guys can donate to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.